Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today let's go over a medium level question that I just solved on my own. So I'm super happy about this and I'm very glad that I was able to come up with my own solution to this question without any assistance. So let's go over it and let me show you how I did it. This is 1600 throne inheritance. So this is a long description, but basically, excuse me, they want you to create a parent name and a child name and basically build like a tree and use recursion. So let's just go ahead and take care of each of the methods and it will become more obvious. So let's create a default dictive type list and let's just go ahead and create a dead because we're going to have to add dead people, and parent name dot append child name, and then self dot dead dot add name. So that's the easy part. Now let's print self.d. And okay, so let's move this. You can see that we want King, Andy, Matthew, Bob. Why? Because King, Andy, Matthew, and then after Andy finishes, then we go to Bob, and Bob goes Alex and Asha, and then after Bob finishes, then Catherine. So we're just kind of doing like a DFS traversal. So this can get a little bit messy. So what I did is we're going to want to return a list. But first, let's get every single key and then all the values. Okay, so let's call this temp. So for k and self.d, temp.append k. And then for neighbor in self.dk, temp.append neighbor. And this just makes it so, because we can't do a DFS on a dictionary, I tried and it doesn't work. So basically now we have to make sure if k is not in self.dead, then we do this. Okay, so now if we go over temp, let's print t and temp t. Or let's just go ahead and print T. So you can see King and then Andy. And then once we finish Andy, so we're just basically going to run a DFS on all the children in order. So let's go ahead and define a DFS. Let's call this now. And let's also create a set called self.scene. So if now is not in self.scene and now is not in self.dead, then we can go ahead and add now. And so basically this can get a little messy, but the idea is we want to run, well, so for neighbor in self.d of t, then we run a DFS on the neighbor, and we want to, if t is not in self.dead and t is not in self.current, we don't want to repeat things, then we can append t, and we're just going to loop through this because this is just going to be an array. And so many ways to construct this, but for now we're just going to say for neighbor in self.d of now, we're just going to keep running this. And then at the end, we want to return, let's just return y. Let's call this y. So let's do this. And then cur.append a and return current at the end. Okay, so where are we? There's no self.cur. Where is it? So, okay, cool. So as long as if a is not in cur, we don't want duplicates. So basically we're just running that tree. And last but not least, if we submit this, so this has been running really slow lately. I don't know what Leetcode's doing. I'm paying for premium here. You guys got to speed this up. Okay, 28 test cases, not great. So, okay, so we have to make sure they're not in dead, and A is not in self.dead. Because we're returning Y. Yeah, okay, so let's just submit this again. Come on, you gotta speed this up. Okay, so looks like this king thing is an issue. So at the end, if king not in self incur and king not in self.dead, then cur.append king, and then just return it. Okay, let's do this. Come on. Come on, guys. Okay, and neighbor not in neighbor not in current. Oh, well, in this case, if not cur and this, okay. It took me a bunch of trial and error, but I'll show you how I solved it. So 35 test cases, okay. Oh, okay, so if it's not in dead and it's not in cur, if it's not in cur, not in dead. The same thing here. So okay. Okay, so oh, and he is not in self.scene. No, that's not what we want. I'm not the best at writing DFS recursions, but we'll figure this out. So, oh, we want to append no? The heck? A string? No, we just want to return Y? Okay, well that makes sense because we're going to go through this anyways. Y.append neighbor, I guess. If neighbor is not in self.dead, nope, we're getting close. Let's do this first before we worry about everything else. So if this is not, or we can just say if self.dk, then just k0. Because, that's still not right. So if self.dk0, not in current, and Or we can just, that's fine actually, for neighbor in self.dk. Let's just append the neighbor. Okay, cool. So let's submit this. Okay, 40 test cases out of 49. That's better. Okay, so if not cur, if king is not in current, then cur.append king. Okay. Okay, time limit exceeded. Great. So last but not least, basically I made a cur set. So not in cur set. And basically every time we modify current, we do this. And change this to cur set to make it O of 1. Okay, submit it. And there you go, passes all test cases. So again, I'm super happy that I was able to come up with my own solution to this question without any help and solve it completely on my own. So that's it for this video, and thank you for watching.